We would like to see most of the human race killed off because it is unworthy. It is unworthy of the gift of life.
I don't care what society thinks. They're nothing anyway. They're no better than me.
Until we hear the safe word, we will not stop.
Have you ever thought what it would be like to see a person's head amputated? Think of things so horrible that the human mind cannot imagine them. To see all this and more when you see on stage, in person, that crazy mix-up.
I like being set apart from people. I like to be hated.
Safe Word with Jason Rouse.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Does that
fantastic.
sound fine?
Yeah, that sounds great.
You feel good about yourself?
Well, it depends on the day. Depends on the moment of the day. Sometimes I feel like I got everything going, and then I'm like, nah, I got nothing.
I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of our friends are killing themselves.
Yeah, they really are.
You gotta ask. You gotta ask.
Fuck. Hashtag Bill, let's talk.
Hey, everybody. This is Jason Rouse, and welcome to the Safe Word Podcast. Byron Bertram. Double B's, right?
Yeah, double B's.
Double B's, very like a Eastern European show business name. Please welcome the Byron Bertram.
Yes, very good. Very good quality name.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You do voices and
Yeah.
characters because of, well, you have a passport, and from what I can see, we've ran into each other probably 4 or 5 different countries.
Yeah, definitely. Not Australia, though, right?
No, I've
UK.
never been. Unfortunately, that's been on my list of things to do for quite a number of years. But for whatever reason, I've never been to Australia or the New Zealand
Right.
part of it because it kind of goes hand in hand, right?
Good time to not be there, though.
Yes.
Fuck.
Or Ontario.
My God, Ontario is just a freezing Australia right now. It's like a Russian gulag with more Tim Hortons and less culture. It's
Byron is
mental.
a comic from Canada. I want to say that you started your career in Vancouver, but
yeah, I did. Yeah,
on Granville Island,
doing
juggling chainsaws,
doing street forming, juggling, escaping from a straitjacket, pretending I'm English and born from England, escape from a straitjacket.
Magnus Battner, Swedish comedian, was also a street performer.
Oh, okay, right.
Whose father, I think, was a religious person who ended up anyway. Vancouver Island, juggling chainsaws.
Yeah, Granville Island in Vancouver.
Yeah. What year was this?
I started in like 94. I was 16.
Okay, so I saw you there because I used to work at the Granville Market as a dishwasher. Actually, that was my last job.
Oh, wow.
My official job was on Granville Island. So I used to walk past people like yourself, Tom Comet.
Tom Comet, I haven't seen that guy for years.
Yeah,
you remind me of Tom Comet a bit. You guys have sort of a similar.
No hair.
No hair, yeah.
No
you
hair.
got this sort of anarchist kind of like like old school screw the systems.
I think maybe, and I don't want to speak for Tom, but we maybe are like excited about the Mad Max part of our lives.
Yeah. You both had this sort of dystopian Mad Max
Blowing
kind of
guys for gasoline. That kind of end of the world shit. So, well, I must have seen you then because I was living in Vancouver from 93 to 96.
Yeah, so I was just starting then. I was
Yeah.
terrible. I was just this punk teenager. I was still in high school then.
It's a tough gig.
Yeah, so you probably saw me when I was just this punk
Bombing?
kid. Oh, bombing on the street constantly. Just other bigger street shows, just being like.
I've seen a couple of those guys scream at the audience because they weren't tipping or whatever. Like,
Oh, yeah, we all done
throw
that.
their bucket. Fuck this and
Yeah, we've all had a meltdown. We're like, you didn't pay me enough.
Yeah.
Just throw her
Yeah.
out in the garbage and have a moody tantrum.
I've also seen guys pour out buckets of, hundreds of dollars in an afternoon.
Oh yeah, no, I mean,
I'm in there washing dishes for minimum wage, and I'm seeing a guy with a firecracker in his ass doing a handstand.
Yeah.
And he's got $500 that day.
Yeah,
Fuck.
yeah,
I wish I could.
yeah. That's what Tom Comet did. I remember.
Yeah.
he blew a fireball out of his ass on a 10-foot
Oh,
unicycle
yeah,
wearing
yeah,
a
yeah.
G-string.
And also balanced a running lawnmower on his chin while people threw heads of lettuce.
That's
into
right.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was a fan because, Lollapalooza, I always really loved and still really liked Jane's Addiction. And when Perry Farrell had started the whole Lollapalooza thing, it kind of embodied that generation's tastes in fashion, music, and that whole
Right.
life. It wasn't a Woodstock thing, but it was a movement. It was cool.
Did you go to Burning Man at one point or anything
No.
like that? No.
Oddly enough, one of the things I'd seen, Tom Comet made a documentary about going to Burning Man.
Yeah.
This is 96.
90 or 97, 90 or something.
Probably
Yeah.
on YouTube somewhere. But no, I was I wanted to go, but every year I heard people come back from that and say, like any cool thing, too many people, it's being overexposed, it's not the right kind of people anymore.
It's getting commercialized.
Probably what people are saying are like that the Austinites are saying about the comedy or all the people that are moving here. They're ruining it. It's not the right kind of people. They really do not. They don't even bring up the New Yorkers because I think they're probably moderately terrified of New York people. But the L.A. West Coast California types, they've pretty much gone out of their way multiple times to tell me, I'm glad you're not one of them. But then I had to explain to them, I also lived in Hollywood for 13 years. And but it didn't affect me.
Yeah, you were there a long time, were you? Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
13 years.
13 years I lived in L.A.
Man, right
Hollywood.
Right behind Grauman's Chinese Theater, you said.
That was one of the places, but I always lived in that area. Always in that area. For a short time, I lived in Echo Park, which was like all Latinos and white hipsters.
And you were the only guy I know who lived in L.A. and didn't have a car, right?
I've never driven a car in my
It's
life.
mad. Like in L.A. without a car.
Well, the first few years, it was a bit of a pain. I was living in L.A., but keep in mind, as I do here, I always take the club that I want to make my home.
Right.
I find their postcode, zip code, and draw a string out to how long it would take for me to walk there.
Right.
And if it's under 60 minutes, then I look for apartments within that circumference.
Right. You just kind of base your...
And then I work around that. So there was no need. First of all, the weather's great in California. You really feel like a dick if you're taking a car in February and it's 27 degrees out and you're watching people lose fingers in Canada.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. And long story short, Uber kicks in like the third year in there, maybe fourth year.
Right.
And it's so cheap.
I heard way back then Uber was
So cheap. $10 would get me sometimes an hour car ride.
That's madness.
Yeah. Off peak times and stuff.
That's what I spent to come here for a 7-minute.
$10.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, everything's $10 here too.
Yeah.
As you can see.
Seems like the $10
you
ride
were
everywhere.
down at the Capitol building, which is impressive, right?
Yeah, I went in there and to see a picture of
Oh, you
George
went
Bush.
in?
And yeah, I went to the Bullock State Museum today. That was pretty cool. I love museums. Just want to check it out.
Yeah.
Really.
You have to as a Canadian, as a comedian, because you get to go to the places, and sometimes you're only in there for a day.
Yeah.
What can you do in the day? How can I absorb as much as this culture?
Soak up as much as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And museums are a great favorite museum, London Museum.
British History Museum,
Yeah.
the Met in New York. I love
Yeah.
tons. That's one in Amsterdam was called like the Rijksmuseum, just all those crazy
The Van
Vikings
Gogh.
Oh, I didn't get to go to the Van Gogh
No.
one, but
No. But that's what you do when there's no whores.
Museum of Anthropology and
You go to museums.
yeah, when there's no prostitutes, what else are you gonna do? But there's a lot of sex museums in Amsterdam.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Amsterdam is a sex museum.
Yeah,
Yet the people.
and I'm not talking about the
no
Anne Frank
sex.
house.
There's no sex in their eyes.
Yeah,
Dutch people are like, because I bombed every night.
I
at
would just say
Tumblr's.
they are the weird, like people like, what are the worst audiences? Like German. I'm like, no, Germans. I killed in Berlin.
Yeah.
But yeah, Amsterdam. They were just, still like you, but I won't laugh at you.
I didn't even get that because my stuff was hinged on of North American taboos and social faux pas. Well, they don't have any of that.
They don't.
Shit.
If you're talking about fucking somebody's grandmother, they're like, yes, this is normal here.
And I thought they were a little just maybe, oh, that's too crass. I thought I was maybe pushing it too far. But as I started to reveal, as I looked into their eyes, they just didn't care.
They just
sat like
nothing phases them. I think that's the thing because they're so. It's a healthy culture and that prostitution, drugs. It's not. There's no taboo about it, but nothing really phases them. I was doing this street gig in like 2007, and it was this festival, and they put all the performers with people with special needs. There's like it was like an institutional housing. They're like, yeah, so the people with Down syndrome and autism we put on the ground floor.
Doesn't that say about a lot about by people who perform on the streets?
Yeah, but you
kind of like comedic retards.
Yeah, no, it was hard to know. It was like this guy got Down syndrome, or is he just like a Danish clown? You didn't know who was there for the festival and who was an inmate.
But that goes to any country. It's hard to tell a clown. Did you do any clown?
No, I never did a clown.
I did.
Yeah.
I studied with Mike and John, Mupp and Smoot.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, they're like Toronto. They're like on Toronto Legends. Yeah.
Yeah, they were great. That was part of the program when I was in Humber was clown.
Right.
Which when they brought it up, I was just like, oh.
So you were a Humber kid, eh?
I was the first.
You were one the first.
I was the.
Was Larry Horowitz teaching there?
Yeah, Larry was there. They asked me to leave at one point. And
really?
And I had 2 Saturday Night Live auditions at the end of the program because Lorne Michaels had seen me on the Phil Hartman memorial show in Brantford.
Oh wow!
And they had some of the kids in the hall and stuff. But yeah,
that's amazing.
That clown program was great. Those guys were great. You know, I kind of went in like I knew that there was some sort of look at clowns have been around. You know, I've always been interested in like medieval gestures. You know,
yeah,
the guy that was closest to the king, and
that's a high risk gig.
It's totally high, and I think clowning is also a high risk gig. It's probably harder than like being with a poorly constructed improv group that bombs every week. There's nowhere to hide, and you're stuck. I don't know. It was a very interesting psychological experiment. We did some workshop stuff that would, first of all, all the women cried.
Oh, right.
During the clown turns.
Really?
People were having fucking breakdowns during clown class.
Wow, were they just like, bring out your inner, the most traumatic thing that ever happened to you now?
No, people were doing it themselves. People were doing it themselves, and there was very, the time we got to the part of the clowning program, the workshop was these classes were like 3 hours long, and people were breaking down because of the workload and criticism. I had come in there, I already had a Gemini Award when I showed up, so I was a seasoned comedian the time I got in there. And these people hadn't even got into open mics and seen what real failure is in front of a live audience.
Yeah, yeah.
But I came up through Hamilton and started in Vancouver. So between Hamilton and Vancouver,
of course, yeah.
You can. It's either it's fight or flight, and you have to be very, very good at.
Performing on pool tables in front of bikers when the TV's still left on playing curling in the background.
And they're angry.
Yeah.
At you.
They're angry at you because they weren't expecting comedy.
And one of the guys is like a closeted comic, and he's seeing his dream unfold on stage as you perform. You know what I mean? And people freak out when they see, oh, I'm funnier than this guy. It's crippling to them. It will haunt them to the grave. I love it. I love it when people don't pursue their passions. And they resent you for pursuing them.
Traveling, I get that a lot. Just even going here, it's like, oh, you're going to Austin, must be nice. Well, I have kids, must be nice. I'm like, well, I didn't force you.
You've had children, but none of them lived.
Yeah,
9 abortions is what I was told.
Same my next album. 9 abortions.
This all happened like when COVID kicked up. Byron drowned his children so he wouldn't have to vax them. Have you had anybody pregnant?
I don't think so. I mean, they probably would have told me.
You've never been told I'm having a baby?
No, but nobody told me.
No one told me.
I had a couple like sort of scares, but nothing,
Yeah.
nobody. I don't think I did knock anybody up now.
How old are you now? 38?
43. Yeah.
43.
Yeah,
Okay,
getting
I
up
was
there.
say 38. You're 43.
Yeah.
Does that feel bad?
I don't know. It's
Do you know I'm 50 years old?
Yeah, you're
I'm
about 50
50
now, right? Wow. How does that feel?
I feel great.
Oh, good.
I feel fantastic.
I remember having like a nervous breakdown when I turned 30, and now I just wish I could time travel and be like, shut the fuck up.
20 is when I had mine.
Really?
Yeah, that really bothered me. Once I hopped from teen to 20,
Right.
I was like, oh, here comes 30 and the rest of them. But
Yeah.
up until I turned 20, I had this kind of Peter Pan. I had no role models or ideas what the future was going to be like.
Right.
It was just, growing up in Hamilton, it was just run in any direction like you've got no arms
Right.
and see what happens. But keep moving.
Yeah, Hamilton's a hardcore city, isn't it? I've never really spent much time there. I've been to Dundas.
Dundas is nice.
Dundas is nice, yeah.
Dundas is very nice. I went to an art school there in the basement of a church it was for comic book drawing. I really wanted to learn how to draw hands and anatomy and things, and
Oh, wow.
it didn't stick.
No.
No, I wasn't really good at drawing hands.
Oh,
I could
really?
never get them right. You ever seen somebody draw a good hand?
Dale Ward, a Calgary comic, just unbelievable. Like
Yeah, artist.
like as far as just like when it comes to realism, it's like holy
Yeah.
crap, like almost
Just pull out a sheet of paper with a pencil and draw an owl.
almost like he does a lot of like gigs for like people's dogs and stuff. I'm like, oh my god, it's almost like photo
Portrait
perfect
stuff,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
pretty unbelievable.
Dude, were you in high school in Vancouver?
I was in high school. Yeah, I went to a predominantly Asian school.
That's called Vancouver.
Yeah, exactly. It was mainly Chinese, nerdy Chinese kids who bully me, and East Indian wannabe gangbangers who would.
Yeah.
So a mixture of like nerdy Chinese kids and East Indian gangbangers.
And you're super white.
And I'm super white, and I'm one of the few white kids there, and it was just either just like, you are fat guaylo, you do not know math, you are dumb,
Yeah.
you go to summer school, you're fat. And I got picked on at holy sweatpants. They call me Byron holes. They're like, you have holy sweatpants. Byron holes, parents on welfare, broke white people.
Did you ever attack them?
No, that was. I only got in one fight in high school with another white guy. He just kept like just bullying me, and then I
Yeah.
said, "All right, let's meet outside." And then I punched him once, and he fell down, and then I gave up, and I said, "Okay, you win."
Yeah.
And that was it.
And what school is this?
Sir Charles Tupper Secondary
In Vancouver?
in Vancouver,
East?
Vancouver, yeah.
Yeah.
But through that,
I lived on Clark and 14th for a while
Oh, okay.
off a parallel commercial.
I heard back then there was like a gang called the Clark Park Gang or something like that. They
The
were
Clark Park?
like, there was
Probably.
the Clark Park Gang.
On Commercial Street, they're probably dykes
There was
when I lived there. Commercial Street's a dyke area.
Yeah, well, it used to be back then. It was like really
Yeah,
militant lesbians and just
Yeah.
chauvinistic old Italian men.
It was a great place to have, because I've always looked at, start with the city center, then look at where all the fags live. That's a great spot.
Yeah,
Especially-
I still got a place there. The West End is
Oh.
it's the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's great, especially if your chick can walk home. Well, not in Vancouver anymore. Anyway, I lived in the area, Church and Wellesley area in Toronto, and
Yeah.
my girlfriend at the time would have no problem walking home from work at 2 a.m.
Right.
It's just like it's all protection.
Right.
No one's and those 13 bears that catcall me when I'm holding her hand. That's mean.
Did you
Yeah.
get catcalled by bears?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
They liked you, eh?
They were like they knew that they could overpower me.
Right.
Yeah.
It is when like a gay guy's overly aggressive with you. You're just like, oh, this is what it feels like to be a woman.
Yeah, totally.
You're just like,
And
oh
the
my
way
god,
I
I
have my
get it.
asshole shaved, it's not helping. It looks like a man's mouth, like a coal miner.
By the way, you sent me the most revolting image.
Everybody gets it.
Yeah, you know what sucks about that? I'm looking for your address like a million times, and I have to keep scrolling that. And I'm like, ugh, I almost puke in my mouth. It's like this woman with like the most hairiest asshole with her vagina that looks kind of infected.
That's a birthmark
gross.
behind my ear.
But I'm like, what's Jason's address? Oh, fuck, what's his address again? Fuck.
I know everybody has a, well, you know Boomer's asshole.
Boomer's asshole.
Have you seen Boomer's asshole?
It sounds like a dive bar.
Have you not seen?
No.
No, because I don't think we talk through social media that much.
Yeah.
But there's a photo, because I didn't send you this, and I'm only telling you this is because we're doing T-shirts, and here's a QR code that is going to be on the back of the shirt,
Oh, okay.
but it's based off of this. That's Boomer Phillips.
Oh God.
No. Can you see it?
Yeah. Oh my. Yeah. Oh. Jesus Christ.
Can you see it?
Jesus Christ.
I can't turn the phone around, but that's Boomer.
I don't know who is he. A friend of yours?
Boomer Phillips from Letterkenny.
Oh, okay.
Boomtown.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, follow him at Boomer Phillips on Instagram.
At lookatmyasshole.com.
No, but I do own thegaper.com.
Oh, really?
Because we're doing Gaper shirts and stickers for Valentine's Day. Do you want to hear the weirdest part?
What's that?
Okay, that black and white image I showed you.
Yeah.
No, sorry, not the QR code. This is I talked a handful of comedians to get this tattooed on them. So on Valentine's Day, I'm getting all these comedians to tattoo. Funny. Yeah. So we're all getting Gaper tattoos on our legs.
You're gonna get that tattooed, eh?
Yeah, it's
nice.
I figure if a couple people, you'll meet some of them tonight. I think there's about 6 of us.
Yeah,
we're all gonna. One of the comics is also a bit of a tattoo artist.
Oh wow!
So we're all gonna sit here and have Boomer on the screen while we all get his asshole tattoo.
You never been to Japan, have you?
No, I've been to Hong Kong.
Oh, okay. Hong Kong's pretty cool.
That's not Japan.
No, Japan. They won't let you go anywhere. I went to like an onsen. My ex-girlfriend is Japanese, and they're like, "Oh, you are a gangster if you have a
tattoo." Yeah.
Even if you got like a Hello Kitty tramp stamp, they're like, "No, you are Yakuza."
My friends he's got the Simpsons on one hand and Family Guy faces on the other.
Yeah,
they're great.
That's funny.
He's in a mental hospital in Gothenburg now.
Oh shit.
Yeah, fortunately, Matthias, terror, fuck.
Wow.
A lot of people lost it. You're still here. Honestly, I didn't think you were going to make it.
Really? When you were just like taking bets on comics?
Just in life in general.
Really?
No, and I mean
I've known you on and off over the years for a number of years.
Like over a decade.
Yeah, well over a decade.
Probably 15 years.
Yeah, about that.
About maybe 15 years. And I mean not make it is in the sense that I knew you were traveling, but a lot of people are still under a blanket in Canada waiting for a thumbs up.
Yeah, you know what it is the street performing. I was always had that financial avenue to do street shows and piggyback myself around the world, even if I didn't get any industry acceptance or approval or booked here and there. And I would just pop in, make connections all around the place. And I was able to financially sustain myself doing street performing and just float. But luckily,
it's been reduced to medieval shows.
Yeah.
Sidewalk. Hey, I've got an act. Crowd around.
Yeah.
That's been going on since anybody built a campfire.
Well, there's a joke they called street performing the second oldest profession in the world.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
because that was just a guy dancing for a chick to get some pussy from a hooker for free.
Exactly.
Well, 2 pence to get the squirrel.
Yeah.
But he's like, listen, I can walk on my hands with an apple in my asshole. And the lady goes, you know what? I give up a bit of hole for that. And all of a sudden, street performer's a thing. It's probably been worse than that.
That's great. I give up a bit of hole for that. That's lovely.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I can't do it. Fucking. I don't know why all the prostitutes are English. Because I've never seen.
Well, it gives her that Dickens kind of nostalgia.
Yeah, it does.
I'll give you a bit of hole for it, love.
She has no teeth. This woman.
Yeah.
Is she? The voice sounded like she's just a mouth lady.
Of course, dear.
Yeah.
I give the best head this side west of Essex.
Yeah, and they call her the burping ladle.
Yeah.
Because every time she farts, it smells like someone burned down a gay bar. That's a lot of cum.
Jesus.
That's a lot of cum.
You are the Shakespeare smut. It's amazing.
I am, my thesaurus is pretty limited. But I work.
You use those words you know well.
Yeah, I can. Yeah. Part of that is timing and talent.
Yeah. Like this bit, you've been doing it forever. That your infamous bit, like I just cry laughing every time I hear it of you just doing that.
Me fist fucking?
You fist fucking the grandmother, and it's just it sounds like mixing paint.
The retarded girl thing was that up until I upped it to the fist fucking bit. Now it's like, where do I go? I'm running out of road, and I don't address any political or social commentary.
Yeah, no, you never talk about.
No.
Do you talk about COVID in your act at all? Really, not really.
Is it an act? It's more of a cry for help.
Right.
Let's be honest, right? But no, I'll have some somber moments at times when the audience is really good.
Yeah.
And I've had a moment where I've kind of like everything felt like it had just falling, like the emperor has no clothes. I don't know. These points are rough. Where I'm just thinking, I'm like, fuck. All my friends in Canada are fucked.
They're fucked.
And
I mean,
I'm standing on stage here, and I know that there's so many talented guys.
they're suffering. Yeah.
I've had like, I don't know, 10 different comedians on my couch over the last 12 months.
Right.
And, you know, Sam Walker and Jared Nathan have had some major successes in very short times here.
Right.
And that's the writings on the wall.
The writing's on the wall with
like, you've got this special needs guy. Do you know Jared?
I just heard recently about him that
He's
Ben was
a disaster.
That's what I heard. Ben was telling me about it. Ben Baggins told me about him, and he told me some funny jokes about it. I was like, that sounds fucking hilarious. But apparently in Toronto, everybody was woke. People were getting offended on his behalf or some shit.
Totally. And not only that, offended that he didn't fit the checklist of special needs for events based on people.
For the diversity quota we want to check. They're like, well, you're a white man with Down syndrome.
Yeah.
We want a person of color of Down syndrome.
That's fine. You know, it's not a team sport anyway. And anybody that hangs out with themed things is horseshit.
So what I heard about this guy Jared in
this is marijuana, by the way. I know you're from the West Coast. I don't want to assume.
Oh right, well I'll have a toke, sure. Yeah. Nice. This is a pot pen. Amazing.
Yeah. Put the pen down so the oil. Yeah, like so it's now blow out. You're gonna maybe cough a little bit. No.
I didn't even do it.
So.
I'm like the world's worst pot smoker from the pot smoking capital.
I know you are like a Peter Sellers-y. You're fumbles.
Yeah.
How many times have you dropped shit and everyone's looked at you and Byron?
Actually, it's weird because I'm a really good juggler, but then I just drop shit in real life.
Straight up and down because there's like an oil in here.
Okay.
This is one of my sponsors, by the way, Absolute Extracts.
Oh, nice.
And then you hit the green, and then
It's like a reverse flute. You're just sucking in. Oh, wow.
That's way too much for me.
So you hold it.
Yeah, hold it down. Yeah, and then give it a and draw. Now blow up.
Wow. Yeah. Amazing.
I got.
Oh man. There you go. There you go.
I know. I should have mentioned. I found this.
You just found it on the street?
Well, it was sticking out on the top of the rim on a urinal. On a urinal.
Oh, nice. But that gives you, that necessary bacteria to fight COVID.
Yeah, I licked this a stripper pole at a sex club in Vegas.
Yeah, and now you will never get COVID. No.
I had it in March, like 2 years ago.
Oh, just the beginning of it. Were you pretty sick or?
Yeah, there was a couple days there where I will say that honestly, probably about. I've been, I was wearing myself thin, late nights at the store, not eating right, and slacking on some of my health.
Right.
And not to mention, like, a joint at the Comedy Store, it goes around. People have got Band-Aids hanging off their lips. Their nails are bleeding. You know.
Oh, yeah.
So I had no, when it was going around, I was fine. I was like, I guess I'm going to see if I'm going to live.
Yeah.
And I had about 4 days that I was in bed sweating, pretty ill. And the ventilator thing was big news, whether it was a thumbs up or thumbs down. And a handful of doctors had brought up that these respirators were kind of giving your lungs a day off to a degree where they were just collapsing in on themselves and turning to mush.
Man.
Because your body was used to using the iron lung. So I'm like, well, I guess I'll be out in the sun. as much as I can stand.
Right.
And just cook this.
Just try
out
to
of
get
me
that
with the
vitamin D in you.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll try and take deep breaths and do some push-ups until my body doesn't ache anymore. And then just blasted myself with vitamins and shit, and I was fine in 10 days.
Right. So yeah, your antibodies are still probably pretty good from that.
Yeah, I think because I was prescribed a lot of antibiotics when I was a kid. I think it did punch a few holes in my immune system from just being misdiagnosed.
Right.
But it's fine. Like, I have no real concerns
Yeah.
at this point. I'm honestly, my life expectancy's gone up 70% since I've moved to Austin.
Right.
In just the short time you've been here, and you've been doing stand-up for over 15 years.
Yeah.
So you can see the lay of the land. It's like a nice place, and you're doing comedy here. Not a lot of those.
It's just, I mean, I've only been here a couple of days, but it seems like it's very, like we were just talking earlier. It's all these young guys that just came here. It's kind of like Lord of the Flies, and they just created their own island.
Yes, most definitely. Well, they ran out of land.
Yeah.
The water is flooded over with everything from, in families, in relationships just falling apart. Everyone's been left adrift. There seems to be no community, and the people that were closest to you now you're not talking to over the last
the amount of falling outs, the amount of failed marriages,
Yeah.
the amount of me and a couple good friends, we had falling outs recently that I don't know for years. I don't know if it was COVID directly, but it was definitely
It aggravated it.
I don't know, people just like maybe, I don't know, just too much time
Well,
together, close proximity.
I never see you really. You're not really posting your views.
I'm not like picking fights. I'm kind of a centrist in like I got friends of all walks of life, but I don't really get all live by like this. No, if you don't believe this, if you don't get vaccinated, or even the other end, it's just like if you got vaccinated, fuck off. You're sucking Satan's dick and get up. Like either way, I'm like, look, it's all new.
But you were never. Do you watch sports?
Yeah, big hockey guy, I like soccer.
Okay, so if you told everybody that they had to like Man United, or they can burn in hell.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is boring. I'm trying to slice different pieces of shit. I don't even like giving my energy up to
the COVID shit,
to the narrative.
Yeah, right.
Of these fucking. Dude, I don't care. Burn it all tomorrow.
Yeah.
I really don't care. Bring on zombies and throw some fucking spaceships in there.
Well, I was hoping that the whole COVID thing would create a zombie apocalypse so the real estate market would crash in Vancouver and then I could buy something, but didn't happen.
You're determined to stay there.
No, I'm not. Well, I'm going to sublet my place.
I love Vancouver.
I'm going to sublet my place. I got a nice rent control place. I don't want to let it go. I like have my lifeboat there.
Yeah. It's like having a place in Brooklyn for 30 years.
Exactly. Like, what am I going to... I'm not going to...
One bedroom?
One bedroom, yeah.
What is that?
Well, it's like 500 square feet. Beautiful view.
No. A month in rent.
Just over 1,300 Canadian.
Wow.
19 floor.
So lucky.
19 floor, great view of the city and the mountains. So it's right by Sunset Beach.
Do not give that up.
I know. Even everybody's like, you got to make a move. Just get the fuck out. I was like, no, I want my lifeboat there. Like,
yeah. No, because that apartment now, is $4,000.
If I moved out,
$200 a month.
Who knows? If I moved out, the rate
$4,000.
It would. Who knows what it'd be? It'd be well over $2,000 easily.
Downtown apartment under $2,000.
Yeah.
Well, is there a thing?
Yeah, I've been there 20 years.
Yeah.
So
no, it was outrageous. I couldn't believe it, especially coming from Hamilton. Now I look back at what I was paying in rent, but the Canadian dollar's kind of at a dip.
Yeah,
wasn't too bad for you in the exchange rate. I don't know what.
Here it's what's it, $1.25 now?
I think so.
Yeah, it's about 1.25.
Yeah, I remember the first come off the airport, move to London, and I take my Canadian dollars and go to the currency exchange counter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, back then it was stronger, too. Back then it was over 2. It was like...
Yeah.
It was like 1.7.
Hammered.
Oh,
my
man.
Canadian life savings reduced to a fucking pigskin with a few coins in it.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go buy a shoe.
Oh, man, if you do the exchange in the UK, you're just like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah.
It's brutal. But you're sitting in Vancouver for what's the last 12 months been like?
So I was there until basically I was there until, let's see, Yeah, I was there from pretty much all the pandemic until I did this crusty little Western tour in between lockdowns.
And you were so grateful that you decided to spend your time on the West opposed to the East.
Well, yeah, no, I felt bad because everybody I knew from the East too, like they
Yeah.
just looked like they were they were hostages. They looked like they were like Saddam Hussein when they caught him in that bunker. When I'm talking to them on Zoom, I'm like, Jesus Christ, like just disheveled and like just shells.
Everybody
of human beings.
looked like sick.
Yeah.
Malnutrition and lack of stimulation.
And I'd be like walking around the seawall going for a jog, and they'd be like, "What do, you motherfucker?" You know,
They'd be angry.
Yeah.
Vancouver's super sensitive, but you have people come up to you with high excellence in their field.
right?
Carrie is the obvious, but everything from John Candy.
But they all left. They all went to the States and got discovered there. That's the only way we know who they are.
But it's not like they were super successful here. They were known, but they were far from Ace Ventura when he was doing Ralph Ben Murgy.
right.
You know what I mean? Like that from a Canadian talk show and then to have a film career and not just like a one-hit wonder, but an iconic, winning. Fuck.
Well, Jim Carrey, he would because he was doing like even in the mid '80s, or he was doing some. He was actually doing some film stuff. Like he was down in the States for a long time.
He did that
before In Living Color, and
there was a film based on a comedian. His wife was actually in the movie. It's called Rubber Face.
Oh, okay.
And I think it was a Canadian film. Clearly, somebody seen Jim and was like, "This is amazing." He was all impressions at that time, but yeah, I'd love to see Jim back on stage. I got to see.
Yeah, he hasn't done stand up in quite a long time, right?
Can't do stand up when you're that famous.
Yeah,
it's like Eddie Murphy. We need him.
Yeah,
more than ever.
Well, what I mean,
get back on stage.
Joe Rogan's still doing stand up, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
But Joe's catalog of comedy is, and he'd probably say this himself, like there's the Richard Pryor file and the George Carlin file, and people listen to those records, those
albums or whatever,
still today.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to carry over into the future as far as
comedy dates too, right? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, a lot of stuff just dates with this.
That's why I went the Red Fox model. Dirty jokes that are timeless.
Yeah.
And
it's like fucking your grandma. You could do that the
that
time.
Wet fist fuck noise.
You've been doing that forever, yeah.
I do it forever, especially when they don't like me.
That's the funniest part when you do that bit.
Overextended.
And it's what's funniest is it's way more funny when most of the audience is just aghast or horrified or even apathetic or just take it or leave it. And then just like four people losing their minds. That's what makes it funnier.
You've seen me at my best and at my worst.
Yeah, because you just double down. You just do not give a shit.
Let's sink it.
Yeah, you'll sink the ship.
Let's sink the whole ship.
Happily.
I'm enjoying it. I was already in the bottom of the ship anyway.
That's why it's a joy to watch you, because you're fearless.
Yeah.
You just do not
I was
care.
posing as the captain. The captain?
Yeah.
I had a stroke when I said that. The captain on the ship. And then they're like, that's the guy. The captain was sleeping. That guy cleans the toilets with his tongue. He's the village idiot. Well, what was he wearing the captain's hat for? Because he fell asleep.
Yeah, yeah.
And I get up and I'm the captain.
Yeah.
And the audience goes, you're not a captain. I get birds of less land on my chest. I got to get ready to go.
Right.
We got to leave shortly. I've got a show tonight at the Vulcan Gas Company down on 6th Street, and it's a secret show. There's a lineup of comedians on the show that I can't say, but you can see.
Oh, wow.
And some secret guests. So we'll see what happens.
Amazing.
This will be fun. But thanks for being on the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
I know we
Pleasure.
talked all over the place, and but people can find you online.
Just, at Byron Bertram. BYRONBERTRAM.
Instagram, and you do have a .com.
Not anymore. I should renew it. I'm just like, nobody's checking my site.
I know.
Anymore.
I'm just worried about someone else taking my name.
Right.
No one would ever do that. No, it's taking my name. Thanks for listening, everybody. And there's shows coming up. There'll be some tours in Europe and starting in June.
Awesome.
Until then, I'll be here in Austin, Texas. If you want to see some comedy or even do comedy, this is the only jam happening in the world. Thank you.
We would like to see most of the human race killed off because it is unworthy. It is unworthy of the gift of life.
I don't care what society thinks. They're nothing anyway. They're no better than me.
Until we hear the safe word, we will not stop.
Have you ever thought what it would be like to see a person's head amputated? Think of things so horrible that the human mind cannot imagine them. See all this and more when you see on stage, in person, that crazy mix-up.
I like being set apart from people. I like to be hated.
Safe word with Jason Rouse.